Hello and welcome to watch this video. In this video we are going to study the contents of a file named ClickingsCanvas.html. So this is one simple HTML page, and here we are going to study how is it possible to react to the pressing of mouse buttons, and how is it possible to store cursor coordinates in arrays. And then we also study a little bit about how to draw things on a canvas element. My name is Kari Laitinen, and let's now take a look at this page. I have the page already open here, and it doesn't really show much when it is opened, and you can find this page when you first go to naturalprogramming.com, and then you click this icon and you get to this page, and then you select these canvas-based pages, and that opens a list of files, and there you can find the ClickingsCanvas.html. You can download the file to your own computer with a right mouse button. And the page looks like this. I have already opened it locally here, and what you can do here is you can click and something happens. So I will make the page a little bit larger so you can see it. So when I click some location on this canvas, then you will see that there will be a dot and then the coordinates of the dot. So you can make as many pressings as you like. And if you reload the page, everything disappears. And as you can see, the coordinates, they are calculated from the upper left corner of the canvas area, so that, for instance, the coordinates of this dot here, they are 69 and 39, which means that this dot is located 69 points or pixels to the right of the upper left corner, and 39 pixels downwards from the upper left corner. So the 0 point of the coordinate system is the upper left corner of the canvas area. And I have already the source code of the page open in an editor, so we can take a look at it. And there are the usual things at the beginning of the page, and there are some comments, and then I have the JavaScript part, and then there are some CSS style definitions, and then at the end of this file you will find the body of the HTML document. And the body is such that on load attribute is defined, and it means that when this document is loaded, this draw on canvas function will be executed automatically. And then the page has one div element, and the div element is centered with a CSS definitions, and inside the div element we have a canvas element. So here's the canvas element, and it has a certain ID, and it has a certain width and certain height, and then there is this attribute on mouse down, and this is now refers to a JavaScript function, so that in practice this means that when the mouse button or when a mouse button is pressed down on the canvas area, this JavaScript function named onMouseDown will be called automatically. So this is the body part of the page, and then we have this JavaScript part, which is the intelligent part of the page. There are two arrays here first. They are public arrays, which means that they are defined outside of the functions, and they are thus accessible for both functions. And we define two arrays, one for storing the x coordinates of the clickings and one for storing the y coordinates of the clickings. And when we define the arrays in this way, it means that the arrays will be empty at the beginning. Another possibility to specify empty arrays would be to write an empty pair of brackets there. But well, in this case I use this new array thing here. And then I have here two functions. There is this onMouseDown function will be called automatically when the mouse button is pressed down, and actually this drawOnCanvas function will be called automatically at the beginning, and also it will be called always. It is also called from this other function here. And what happens in this onMouseDown function, it is that it gets an event, or it is actually a mouse event object that it receives as a parameter. So you can think that the system that runs this page automatically creates an object and supplies that object as a parameter for this function. And from this object we can then get many kinds of information about the mouse event. And one important piece of information is that where was the cursor located when the mouse button was pressed down. And we can read the coordinates of the cursor by using these properties offset x and offset y. So these properties tell what is the offset of the upper left corner of the canvas area. So we read these two properties and we store the values into these two variables. And then we just store the values, the coordinates of the clicked point to these arrays, so that we store the value of this variable, we store it to this array by using the push method. The push method always adds the new element to the end of the array. So after these lines are executed, these arrays will contain the coordinates of the new clicked point. And then we call the other method, which will be draw the coordinates of all points to the canvas. So this drawOnCanvas method, it always draws all the points that have been clicked. And as usual, we have these two lines at the beginning of the drawing method. So we first get the reference to the canvas element through its ID. So this ID is here, canvas for clickings. So we use this ID there. And when we are inside the JavaScript code, we have to use the quotation marks there, and then we get this context with which we can make the drawings. And first thing we do is that we fill the entire canvas area with a light yellow color. So we change the fill style to light yellow, and then with this method call we fill the entire canvas area. And then we make the filling color blue, and after this we go to this for loop that draws the points. And it's important really to note that this for loop always draws all the clicked points. And we have this index, so it has the first value is 0 and the last value is the length of the array minus 1. And to draw this dot here, we use this the path. So we first begin path, and then we specify the dot, and then we close the path, and then we do the fill operation. And then this arc here means the dot with these parameters. So this is the center point x, and center point y. So we take these values from the arrays by using the index. And this 3 is then the radius of the arc or the dot. And these two values specify then that we are going to draw a full arc, and that way we get a dot there. And then as you can see, we always draw a dot, and then we draw the coordinates of that dot. And for this dot, for the coordinates, we use this fill text method, and here we first specify the text that needs to be drawn, and then we specify the location where the text should be located. So the y coordinate of the text is the same as the dot, but the x coordinate is 7 points to the right of the dot. So this way we will not write over the dot. And this text is more done, or this expression creates the string of text, and we use the opening parenthesis, and we use the closing parenthesis, and we use the comma there, and then we take the coordinates from the arrays according to the index. So the plus operator joins these numerical values to these short strings. So this is basically the operation of this draw on canvas function. So I think this is all about this page. It is quite simple page, and you will find more examples of mouse-related HTML pages in the same folder where you can find this ClickingsCanvas.html. So we studied how to react to the pressing of a mouse button, how to store cursor coordinates in arrays, and how to draw a dot and some text on a canvas. Well, I thank you for your attention and I say goodbye.